Welcome, everybody, to the J-WAT podcast. For those watching, this is a very different scenario. It's dark outside, and Tim is not here today. Tim is actually getting prepped and ready for San Diego Comic-Con. I personally have been, working hard. We've all been just doing a lot of things lately, and so with that, I figured, I'd just do a little update. Shout out to the people who've been hitting me up asking me where a podcast episode has been. It's just been a very busy week for all of us. Before I get into it, let's crack open a cold one. And by that, I mean a Crush Zero Sugar, because, I go hard. Not sponsored, by the way. And today I just wanted to talk about some updates of what we've been doing, chat a little bit about just what's been going through my mind lately. This will be a very short episode. Again, I prefer to have Tim with me, but I just think it's important that we make something and keep you all updated. So, yeah, it has been a great weekend for the box office. It's been a great summer. I mean, a great year, I'd say, for the box office. And it's been really exciting to be alive for it. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's just true. And I just gotta say thank you. Like, everyone out there who has gone to the theater, who has watched a movie, whether it's Obsession, whether it's Odyssey, whether it's all the other movies in between, it's just been a really great year for movies. And it's exciting as a filmmaker, really trying to work hard to get noticed by I mean, I don't even really need to get noticed by studios. I just want to have my own audience so I can make my own movies and live and do that full time. So that's really what I'm trying to do here. So thank you so much. If you've gone out and you've seen movies, thank you, because it just means the world. And I obviously have nothing actually to do with the box office as a filmmaker. I went to the box office, but it's just, again, it's just really cool to see movies like Odyssey doing so well. Obviously Obsession, because as a horror filmmaker, it's really cool to see that happen. But yeah, it just goes to show that, a lot of studios have been blaming the audience, and they keep blaming, oh, they don't want to go to the theater. Well, the reason they want to install that into people is because they don't want them to, because that's revenue that they have to split between people. With streaming, it's all connected to them. It's all specific, to them. They can choose the pricing. So it's just a ridiculous thing. So I'm not going to talk about a review of the Odyssey. I think that's important to, with Tim. That's one of my favorite things to do. So we're going to wait until that happens. Once Tim's back. By that time, we've probably am going to see it twice, because I'll at least say I enjoyed it. We'll go into depths and stuff later. But yeah, so it has been a fantastic time in the industry, and for us, it's been really exciting. We got into Popcorn Frights. That is based out of Fort Lauderdale. We are on the virtual side, but it's exciting because they announced us in the second wave, which is like a big honor, because they they had their first wave, which was actually mostly like movies that are already been out, or like early screenings of stuff. And then, we were that second wave. And as it gets closer, more and more people will be announced. And so to be a part of that second wave was just incredible. And yeah, so we have that. We are going to hear from 2 other festivals in the next coming weeks, and we still are yet to hear from 20 other festivals. So it's crazy to think that we still potentially, in the later half of the year, have a lot of festivals that we're just waiting to hear back from. Excuse me. That's what I get for drinking Coke, or a soda. Sounded like a boomer just then. My grandparents always called it a Coke, and hey, go get me a Coke, but they didn't necessarily mean a Coke. They just meant something carbonated. Pause for a drink. You know what? We'll play a drinking game. Every time I pause for a drink, you two a drink. So yeah, that's been incredibly exciting. And just again, we're so honored to be a part of that incredible festival. And a funny story about that festival, for Bundy Manor, that was one of the first festivals we ever submitted to. And when we submitted to that festival, I remember getting really frustrated because I didn't understand that like festivals like would announce who was going to be in the festivals like early. And so we were seeing people get accepted into the festival early, and we kind of get frustrated being like, wait, but the notification date on Film Freeway says that it's not until like a couple more weeks. How come they're already announcing? So again, it's just kind of crazy now to be one of those early movies. So hopefully it's just showing progress, and is just hopefully getting, it's just exciting to think back to my first feature film, our first feature film, and be like, okay, cool. Like we can see the trajectory, and we can see that each festival we get better and better and better, So, and that's all you can really hope as a filmmaker. Yeah, I'm currently in the process of writing two new features. Very excited about that. Again, can't talk too much about one of them. These are different than the one that I announced not too long ago. The liminal spaces psychological horror movie. That one is in very like it is pretty far in the draft stages. So hopefully that'll have some cool news coming up soon. We're just still kind of behind on that. Not behind. You kind of just have to make movies, especially as people aren't full time. You kind of just have to do it when people have the time to do it. And you can't get mad at people for living life. So, yeah, so that's exciting. And one of them is with Janine. We actually wrote a script that is kind of like Demonetize esque, a horror comedy. And then we kind of like thought, oh, this is kind of a lot. I mean, it's going to be a lot of money to make this one. Let's try and make another one that's kind of like in the middle ground between Demonetize and this movie. So we're currently working on that. It's very, very, very early stages. We've barely tapped the outline for that. So, but it's exciting. But it's something I wanted to touch on is I've been having creative urges, and because I'm waiting on other people, it I felt kind of creatively frustrated. And again, it has nothing to do with them. I'm not trying to shame any of my team who's ever listening to this. It's just the way we're doing it. And I am in control of that, right? Like I am the one who I can start another script. I can, work on something. I can do the podcast or whatever. But it's been an interesting feeling because I could feel myself get frustrated and being like, I'm not doing enough creatively, and I'm not filling the void that is left of, because it's an interesting feeling, right? Like Demonetize is hitting film festivals, which, you know, heavily on social media, heavily on just trying to get stuff out there to, keep people interested in the movie. And then working on my other project, which is, very far in its script writing phase, which is good, but it also means that it's kind of slowing down in the sense of like, meeting up with people and getting notes and feedback. And again, I just wait for them, and I'm not frustrated with it. It's just the process, waiting on budgets and things. Yeah, it's just all part of the process. So, and then but it's so funny because I've only just now started to find a love for social media because I think we found a little bit of success with it. It hasn't been a ton, but like people have seen our stuff, and it was really frustrating to put so much like time and effort into a video and then get 2 likes. But it is what it is, and like I I also started to realize like we're cultivating a little community. And even if it's just like friends and family, there's nothing wrong with that. If they're engaging it and seeing it, it still is a really cool thing that they would do and that they would do that for. Like they would engage in our content. And so yeah, but so it's only just now that I've started to really like it. And I think another thing is like I really like sketch comedy. And there was a time on TikTok where I got my first 10,000 followers from doing sketches on TikTok. And it's been fun to basically turn social media ideas and like take a sketch but then make it into some kind of social media. And also we've been ghost hunting. If you guys haven't checked out that series, we went ghost hunting with Tammy. She's from Hollyweird Paranormal, and I think she's like San Fernando Haunted Girl or something like that on TikTok. But like we went ghost hunting at a tattoo shop that's been around for a long time that used to be a bar where the owner was brutally murdered and now, you know, potentially is still there. So we went with the cast of Demonetized to go, and yeah, we ghost hunted with them, which was so cool. And it's been so fun to edit those. It's a lot of work, but it's been a lot more fulfilling than just like, okay, well, chasing after this trend or, figuring out what to do to like come up with content. Like content just kind of has come from it. And what's nice about Demonetize is that it really kind of fuels the social media side, because obviously it's about social media. So, you know, it's fun to, as we run the social media accounts, there's a few people behind it, but we have a fun time of being an influencer. So we'll respond to comments being like slay or like you're a part of our clique, or like comment subscribe, or boo bitches, which is a quote from the movie itself. So yeah, it's really cool, and it's crazy to I mean it does lend itself, and I wonder how it's going to be like in my next movie that has really nothing to do with social media. Really, if anything, it's like an anti social media video. Like I don't think there's a single thing in there that's social media related. There's like texting, of course, but like yeah, so it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where we go. But it's been fun to like use Demonetize as just like a playground for social media content. So that's helped because I want to be a filmmaker. I don't want to be a content creator or, an influencer. I just want to make stuff that people will see. But we're getting there. Speaking of that, our Los Angeles premiere. So, you know, I mentioned we're having Fort Lauderdale, the Popcorn Frights. After that, I'm actually flying to Norway. I'm actually going to get on a plane. It's going to be over 12 hours of flying. Whoa. And I will actually be going to Norway to represent the film. And Janine's coming with me, which is going to be such a blast. That'll be end of August, and we'll have full updates on that, and I'm excited. I'll do tons of filming, and we'll keep you guys updated on how that goes, because yeah, this will be my first one that's like outside of the United States that I could attend. Bundy Manor was in an Ireland film festival, so that was really cool. But yeah, this is the Stavanger. I don't know if that's right, but that's just how I pronounce it. It'll be the Stavanger Film Festival. I actually know the programmers, really cool buddies that I've met through the festival circuit with Bundy Manor, and now they started their own, and so it's really cool. I'm really excited for that. So that'll happen then. That'll be end of August, and then start of September, our Utah premiere. That's where I'm from. That'll happen on September 4th or 3rd. I should probably look. I should know that way off the top of my head, and we literally just posted a thing about it. Yes, September 4th at the Murray Theater. Definitely get your tickets because hopefully it's going to sell out. We have a lot of cool things planned for that as well. So some cool like little special events and things. And then after that, pulling this up here. Yeah, we have our LA premiere, which is going to be huge. All of our cast and crew is pretty much going to be there. All of our friends who live out here are going to be there. Our industry buddies are going to be there. And I am just going, it's going to be hard, and I really should probably be doing more for it. But my goal is to get just to sell out that theater. So it holds 800 people. We have over 100 people confirmed on Partiful. So, hey, it's a start. And according to the festival programmers, it's the most sold show, which is dope. That's hopefully a good sign. And yeah, I'm just going to keep working hard because that's going to do so much wonders for us to have a sold out theater to make it happen. And I feel like as we get closer, that number is going to increase. And we're just going to, hopefully get more and more people to the event. So yeah, very excited about that. And then again, we have 20 other festivals that we haven't heard from, and if we might be in a bunch more towards the end of the year, which is just absolutely crazy to comprehend and think about. So this is a lot harder without Tim trying to just talk myself. So I'll probably only talk about a few more things a little bit later, but it wouldn't be a JWAT podcast without talking about AI. Been really upset about A24 lately. I mean, surprise, surprise. I just have been so bummed about, A24 getting in bed with Google and like that huge investment with the AI features and them trying to come out and try and say like, oh, we need a seat at the table. And it's like, cool. So like, you just want to watch them pick you, dry. And of course they're talking about, no, they just want to like learn how we do things. And it's like, yeah, so that they in turn could do it. That's what that means. And then with the whole thing about AI doing copyright strikes on backroom stuff and that how it was an automated thing. It's interesting because I think I brought this up in an earlier podcast about it. Just I figured that was something that was going to happen because I've been in the social media space and I've had things copyrighted. I've seen people get copyrighted. Obviously, I wrote a movie called Demonetized, so that's a big reason why things get demonetized. So but it just sucks. And, I know that this point, like, it was awesome that Kane Parsons was like, yo, this shouldn't be happening. And A24 put out their stupid statement. But see, we're already against them. And I can't help but think of that Batman quote, you know, before you become the villain quote. I can't help but think about that. So it's fascinating. And it's just so, I don't know. It's just so frustrating with AI. And, I'm seeing more and more friends using AI for like posters. And it's just like, why? Like, why would you do that? And like, I do have to say, like, there was a time when I needed to create book cover, right? Like a fake book cover, because I was writing a script and pitching a script to somebody where I needed that. And so I went to Google and I typed in, like, I thought there'd be like a book cover generator type thing, not AI, just like a book cover generator thing. But before it even populated like websites for me to check out, which of course that was still all AI, Google itself on its own put up a bunch of book covers that it just AI generated. So that's probably a big reason why people are just like, okay, well, it's right here, right? Like we talk about, in the marketing thing about how the first page of Google, like you have to be on that first page of Google for your business because people don't want to click to page 2 for the most part. And so if that's the first thing they see, unfortunately, a lot of lazy people, but still people, are going to just go with that, and they're just going to go ahead and click it and, you know, you use an AI thing to make it happen. So yeah, it's just frustrating, but you can see if it's force fed to you, I don't think it's an excuse, but it's just, you could see why people would use that. But yeah, unfortunately, I've just seen a lot more friends use it, and I'll call them out for it. It's just the truth. Like I know I have been in the job of some of the most talented graphic designers that I've ever known, that I could easily like submit them to, and like they would probably charge not very much. I know Canva has been using a lot of AI features, but there's still things you can do that aren't AI on Canva, and you can make something so simple that you don't need yeah, you don't need to generate that kind of AI stuff. So I don't know. It's just frustrating, and it is hard sometimes as a creative person to see your friends slowly succumbing to AI, certain AI features and things like that. And sometimes they don't have a choice. Like there's so many websites now that just, you have no choice. Like it is AI all the time, and that's what you want. But I have seen videos where it's like content about anti-AI is doing more popular than content about AI, and a bunch of companies are losing a ton of money on AI. And yeah, but still, it just sucks to you see, like, Netflix admits openly that it used generative AI in a bunch of stuff. And yeah, it just like, it's so funny because like I also saw that a bunch of Disney people got laid off because of the success of the Hopper's underperformed. It still made like 200 million or something in the box office, but it's like, how how crazy is it that you have to make such an absurd amount of money to make a movie work? Like that is so backwards and batshit crazy that I think, I know Tim and I have talked about this a million times, but that is something that needs to change. Like, why do movies need to be so damn expensive? Why do actors, I'm going to say it, need to be so damn expensive? And why are we even entertaining ideas that Ben Affleck is doing? Like I was such a huge fan of Ben Affleck. And then for him to come out and be like, "Oh yeah, I created a software where my team created an AI thing where the actor could be in like an empty studio and doesn't have costumes, and the director can be there and a producer, and they can create the entire world around them." And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So you just want to fuck over the cast, you just want to fuck over the crew and still get the people who take the most amount of money, and that's supposed to save you money. Like, why not cut those top people? You know, like they always complain about the rich, and we always have these movies come out about rich people, are the issue. And like California specifically talks about that. But it's like, oh, no, no, but not us rich people, them rich people. Not not us actor rich people, Donald Trump rich people. And it's like, no, dude, like rich people are the problem in general. You're literally trying to take the jobs of so many hardworking well, I'm going to say it, cast and crew, and your movies are going to feel hollow and empty the more and more you do that. And like, I think Obsession being what it was and how successful it was is proof of that. And Odyssey, which again was a insanely expensive movie. Like, I am not trying to deny that, but most of it was practical, and most of it, it was all done by humans as far as we're aware. Unless something comes out that something was AI, then we riot. But yeah, overall, it's just frustrating. I feel like I started off very positive. Now I'm kind of a downer, but it's just good. Ultimately, it's good to see people in the theaters. If I can just beg anyone who's listening to this, don't use AI. Go to the theaters and support indie filmmakers. And if you're one of those, you're going to have it come back to you tenfold. Ever since I started in my early 20s officially trying to become a filmmaker, I always tried to help other people on set. Obviously, because I wanted to learn and I wanted to network and all that stuff. But I just knew that usually it didn't happen all the time. But when the time came where I had my idea, they were ready and they would come and they would help me. And I still have people hit me up who want to help me make stuff. And it's because I try and treat people with respect as much as I can. And I just want to help people create human art and human projects. And so, okay, I'm going to get off my pedestal. This was just a really quick update, guys. Again, it's going to have to be sporadic. We're both, Tim and I are just both really busy dudes, and I appreciate your patience with us as we work hard to make our dreams come true. So I believe this will this will come out after Comic-Con. But shout out to Tim, proud of him for chasing those dreams and always having killer panels at San Diego Comic-Con. I hope you guys went and saw that. And if you're in any of the states that I mentioned, so if you're in Fort Lauderdale, I mean, it's also going to be virtual, so you can watch it through the virtual website, through Popcorn Frights. If you are in Norway and want to come see our movie and meet me and my star and co-writer, Janine, we'll be in Norway. If you live anywhere near Los Angeles, that'll happen October 2nd. And then before that, if you're in Utah, Salt Lake City, we'll be at the Murray Theater showing off our movie. And we just can't be so excited, or we were just so excited. So you can follow me personally at Waddy McFly. You can follow Tim. I think it's Tim Drake 42. Sorry, Tim, if not. Listen to his podcast, On the Mic Podcast. You can also follow, excuse me, you can also follow our production company, JWAT _ productions.mov, where we're posting tons of behind the scenes content. We're advertising different things we're doing. We're going to talk, we'll do cast announcements, crew calls, all that fun stuff. So please give us a follow there. I think that's it. So thank you all so much for listening. Excited to get back with Tim and have a full episode for you soon. Thank you all so much and have a good rest of your day.